Today is the vlog for May 10th, and I'd like to open with a question to the couple of people who are subscribed and may be watching this. Do you think about the weather very often? And then I'm going to follow this up with a statement and another question. I think a lot of times when people ask questions, they're actually hoping to get the other person thinking about something so that they can then turn around and talk about their personal experiences. So basically, asking a question is often a preface to talking about oneself. This is something that I picked up when I was asked something, thought briefly about it, gave a short answer, and then was subjected to a 10-minute long monologue. Well, it probably wasn't 10 minutes, but it felt like it, of what this person thought about the thing that they had asked me. I was not expecting that. And after they asked me this, I sort of realized that this had happened before. I had seen a pattern in it. And seeing that pattern in the other person made me realize that I've actually done that myself. I've asked people questions with the only intention being that I would then tell them my thoughts on the matter, whether they wanted to hear them or not. Because once you ask someone a question, you're engaging them, you're sort of inviting them into your confidence so that you can then... So, I'm asking you this question, and you can put a comment, but the whole reason I asked it is so that I can go into my next question, which is, do I talk about the weather a lot? I think I do, and I don't know if I am somehow meteorologically inclined when it comes to conversation, but it is something that I bring up with strangers sometimes, talking about the weather, being excited about sun and nice weather, and being apprehensive about rain and cold weather. And today is no different because it's been sort of cloudy all day. It was raining a little bit this morning. It broke off and it was slightly sunny in the middle of the day. It was nice in the afternoon. And so a friend and I, who have had a rough day at work, decided to go get a beer. It's only a Thursday, but we went down to the bar and we had a beer after work. And we both commented on how the sun in the west was a stark contrast to the dark and foreboding, ominous clouds in the east, which was great, of course, since I was driving east to get home. So I find myself leaving sun and relaxation and heading towards darkness, which could be a metaphor if I was writing, but since this is just the actual weather, we can't read that much into it. While I was in fact leaving the sun, moving towards darkness, the darkness for me has been this morning. This is my vlog, so I get to talk about whatever I want. I get to talk about how I feel if I want to. I woke up this morning and I did not want to get out of bed. I woke up and I huddled into myself and I just said, I don't want to get up today. I don't want to go to work today. I want to stay in my bed and be comfortable and ignore the birds and the light streaming in through my blinds, and I want to turn over and go back to sleep. And I didn't, because I saw that it was 5:40 on the clock and that I would have to get up in a half hour's time, or rather 20 minutes time, regardless of how I felt. So I took 5 minutes to wallow in my self-pity, and then I got out of bed and just looked at stuff on the internet until 6 o'clock, at which point I got in the shower and got dressed and went to work shortly thereafter. And I had a rough day. Anytime I go drinking on a weeknight, pretty good chance that it was a rough day. I actually ended up feeling a lot better by the end of the day. Early in the day, when my friend offered the idea of going to get beers after work, I was definitely all about that. But as the day went on, I started to feel better. And by the time I was ready to go home, I was like, maybe I won't do it. But as soon as I saw the traffic, I was like, okay, Yeah, it's time for a drink. I'll tell you what made the biggest difference, though. I've been eating a lot of junk food on my breaks. And obviously, I'm a pretty heavy-set fellow. You can tell that from looking at me or looking at my arm. I mean, this just makes me look like a big fat guy. And I know I'm a pretty overweight guy, but I sometimes don't feel about it. So I don't know if this is the camera adding 10 pounds or what. But instead of fast food or a sub sandwich, which often constitutes fast food, for lunch I had a little fruit and cheese platter that I picked up at Starbucks and put in a fridge until it was time for lunch. And that perked me up so much. It was remarkable, honestly, how much better I felt in the afternoon. And I have to attribute it to eating a much healthier, cleaner meal for lunch. A much lighter meal that I wasn't putting my body through its paces to digest for the rest of the afternoon. And I think I need to do a lot more of that. I think I need to eat smarter, healthier meals in the middle of the day instead of driving into Redmond for fast food. Yesterday was such a nightmare. Just everything that could have possibly gone wrong went wrong. I was complaining about it to everybody. And that was part of why I was dreading the day. I thought, oh, it's probably worse. I always say tomorrow will be better, and sometimes I don't quite believe that myself, but tomorrow was better than yesterday. Today was better than yesterday. Did I say tomorrow was better than yesterday? I don't know how tomorrow's going to be. I assume it's going to be better. And I want to believe that it will be better. And I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.